Hey everybody, I'm going to talk a little bit about staying the course. And when I mean that, when you start on your shamanic journey, you're at this point that you were attracted to shamanism, had a calling to, had some kind of an experience called a shamanic awakening or however. But you got into this one space in your life where there were different types of resonance, and you got in connection with someone or an event that happened, and you locked in and said, yeah, this is what I want to get into now. This is where I have my interest, and I think this can help me, whatever that choice was. At that time, your polarity, your attraction to a certain subject, a series of events and so on, resonates well with you at that time. And different things come to you. And so to get you on your journey, to answer some questions, quench a little bit of an appetite. There's lots of reasons people get into this. And when I say lots, I mean seriously lots of reasons, because I keep saying that humans are so beautifully complex. And it's important, though, that when you get into a particular flow of the series of events or studies or the people you're working with, is to maintain the course, stay the course. And it's important that way because as you're going along in this series of events and progressions, a lot of times a person won't see the improvement in themselves because it's a constant level of constant progress of improvement incrementally. Whereas people who haven't seen you in a while, they say, wow, you've really changed a lot in a couple of months, but you don't really notice it because you're living those changes every day, day to day. And your life starts to change to a point where different people come into your life, other people leave, and when I say your life is on page one gets rewritten a lot, and therefore, consequently, the rest of your life's book does so as well. When you get distracted, when you go backwards to old lifestyle habits, old friends, activities and so on, that pulls you out of that connection, just like pulling the cord off of an appliance. It just shuts down. That doesn't mean the rest of that shamanic environment doesn't continue to go forward. And when people want to get back into it, those opportunities that were once open are no longer available. Not because the person did something bad, it's just that there was no attention given to that, so it just closed that opening. Same way a wound does, Nature doesn't tolerate a void. And while you were connected, you were part of that flow. And when you pull that connection away, when you're no longer engaged into those studies, rituals, ceremonies, lifestyles, then that left that void open where that disconnection was, and nature closed it. And also the people that you start these things with, people could have a group of people like we have here, forming here, and people get away from it. And in the power and knowledge that was coming to the group and collectively, then it gets redistributed. So as an example, you have 10 people, and they're starting off somewhat in the same time frame within a couple months. The things that are available to those people suit that collective thinking, that collective energy. And when one person says, no, I'm feeling, a lot of self-confrontation, I'm feeling some issues, some insecurities or whatever, and pulls away, then that power from that one person in that collective just gets redistributed. And those people have a tendency to go further and faster when a couple people leave a collective. And then when the person wants to come back into that, they feel like they haven't caught up, they can't catch up. So people are saying, well, yeah, naturally so. Does that mean you can catch up? Yes, probably not the same pace, but that's okay too. Other people that are still in that collective may start to fall off for whatever reason, but that core group still keeps going at that same pace. And so this is just a natural thing that happens. It's unfortunate because I keep telling people, when you find yourself going through these things, these issues, these confrontations, these what seems to be like an overload, tell us. You still stay with the course, but tell us what's going on. Allow us to help you get through these things, because everybody that's in this before you, we've pretty much gone through the same things in different intensities, in different environments. Sometimes we have the same issue, just plays out in different roles with different characters and different aspects of our life. Remember now, when you're born, you start getting snowed on, as an example I use, of social religious programming, and it just starts to cover you up. And when you start to break through and uncover yourself, it's almost like you're raw. You know, you as if you lost a little bit of skin, now you're a little bit oversensitive to things. Because a lot of the social programming is very numbing to you. You know, it doesn't allow you to really feel what it's like to be a real, true human being. And when you get to that phase, of course, then your perceptions change, your alertness, you know, you're much more aware of so many more things than you were before. And then it can be overloading, you know, stimuli, and you don't know how to handle it. You don't know where to put the new things that you're getting. You know, it seems like your library is full throughout your life, but now you have more stuff. What do I do with this? And I have the tendency to overload people, and they tell us, I keep saying, if you feel like you went too far too fast, you have to say something. But people don't, you know. And then one of the things that's really sad is when they feel that they just cannot catch up. They regret their decision. They regret all this. Don't stay there. That's a bad state of mind. Often that can lead into depression. You know, other types of anxieties. Don't go there. All right, just fake. People ask me if I get disappointed. You know, I used to back in my 20s, and but I realized I was holding them to a standard, you know, my standard, that maybe it was just impossible for them to keep. You know, I started this journey, Shaman, in a very, very early stage of life. And so I went through things a lot earlier than most people do. A lot of people don't get into shamanism until they're like their mid, you know, to late 20s is an early one. Sometimes it's in their 50s. I've had people say, wow, I led my whole life. I missed out on so many things. I'm at this age. Now what do I do? And I just say, do the best you can. You know, just stay with it. Just because people start older doesn't mean that they can't advance quicker. Because a lot of things that people getting into this journey older, they've had a lot of lifetime experiences they can use as referential experiences to metaphor some of the shamanic things they're going through and share that wisdom with people that are younger, even if those younger people haven't been in it as long as they have. So, but the basic thing I want to point out on this video is how important it is to, like I said, just stay the course. Even if, you know, like I do a lot of long distance swimming, or I used to before the scamdemic. And some days I just wasn't performing like I normally do. So I couldn't do my overhand stroke. My breathing might not be right. You know, it could be barometric pressure. It could be just the water in general. So I would just roll over, do backstroke, or just only kick. So I'm still maintaining the course, just in a different stroke, a different style. Runners do the same thing. When I used to run a lot, you know, it would just be a different pace. I'm still going the course. It's just not as fast as I did. Maybe not the same stride that I did, but I was still moving along that course line. It's okay. And you can, within a long distance swim or run, you can rest and still be in motion. You're just resting by not maintaining that high pace you wanted to make when you initially got started, for instance. As you go forward in your studies and your progress, people will engage in this in the beginning, just full of energy and curiosity. And then, like I said, you get so many things happening to you from your changes just because of the knowledge that you get. It dictates changes in your physiology. And that happens, dictated by the time constant on the physical plane. And so your mind, like I said, you know, can change very, very fast, but your body doesn't. Your body will go at the earth speed. And pushing it beyond that for the spiritual mind, body, spirit connection can be disruptive to the body. I think I'll probably just leave that at here. Keep these videos kind of short and hopefully informative. If you have questions, you can leave them in comments and so on, or bring it up when we have the next classes. And I'll catch you guys later.